Good morning and welcome to my video. As you can see on my desk, I have all of these storage boxes. These are really sturdy boxes. They're from a Birchbox monthly subscription that my daughter had, and every month you received it in these beautiful boxes. And my daughter had saved them. I threw all mine away, but my daughter had saved them because she thought she might use them, but she's decided she no longer wants them, so she's given them to me. I think she gave me about 9 or 10 of them. So these 5 that I've got here have been on my desk for about a month now, and I've not done anything with them. They've just been like piled up, and I have been putting bits inside them from using, when I use the JMC collections, I have been putting them in here. So I've decided that I am going to turn them into a tower unit. I was going to use them individually just to store things, and then I thought, well, that's silly because you're going to stack them up anyway, and these actually fit next to my drawer unit that I have on my desk with tape and that in. So I'm going to turn these into a tower unit to store the images that I've coloured on the flowers and that from JMC Designs. And that way, when I do any of the design team work or just in general, then I will have all things that are all ready to be used in front of me. I've collected Julia stamps for some time, even before I was on the design team, and I have various ways of storing it, but I think this for me at the moment is probably a way to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover them. Well, we're going to stick them together and then cover the tower unit in some of the papers that I have. And I think I wasn't going to cover the front, so I was just going to keep them as bright colours because they're lovely colours. But I've decided that I'm going to cover them in JMC papers as well. So let's get started. As you can see, I've already taped them together, so this should be quite easy to stick together. So I think that's number 5 that I wanted. So I've just put double-sided sticky tape down. I think this, I mean, you could use glue, but I just thought that, you know, you get more of an instant hit and more of an instant adhesion with these. So let's put some glue on it as well, in case I need a bit of movement. As I say, my daughter was just going to throw them out, but she always asks me now, do I want them? So I did snap her hands off at these because they are just so sturdy. So I hope I'm still in shot and then you're able to see what I'm doing. Just trying to level them up. So they'll look like that. So that's the 2. Hope everybody's okay. It's very early here in the morning. I am still in my dressing gown, so I do apologise. Number 3. I have numbered them in the way that I want them, so not that it makes any difference. So I'm going to be covering them anyway. What's everyone up to today? You all got plans, or are you just going to be crafting or working? That one looks like it might be a little bit smaller. Right, I'm just going to add the rest and then I'll come back. Right, so I'm back. So I have stuck them together, and as you can see, they make a fabulous drawer unit all together. And it will be so strong. I mean, you can hear that they're solid. And the drawers themselves, oh, right, that's got a lot in it. Let me get one that hasn't got much in. You know, they are double-ended. So, and they come with this foam inside for when you add the makeup and that, but I'll take that out. So, you know, they're a decent size. They will hold quite a lot of images once already stamped and coloured up. So I think I'm going to use some of the Garden Tots collection for the sides, but I don't know whether I'm going to have the same for the top or whether I'm going to choose a different colour, a different paper, and then I will decorate the boxes in different papers. I'm trying to think how many I've got. Julie said I've got the Curious Wonders, the Steampunk, the Toadstool Tots, the Craftellas, and the Garden Tots. So there is actually 5 collections of papers, and I do have papers of each of them. So I will probably use a different paper for each drawer, just because, you know, it might make it look pretty. If I don't like it once I've done it in different papers, I might just then change them. So I'm going to go off and choose the papers that I want to use, and then we'll be back. Right, so I'm back to finish off what I started yesterday. So yesterday I stuck all the boxes together. This is going to be a storage chest unit for the JMC things that I have coloured or cut out of the papers, so that I know where they are, because it is probably the things that I use the most. So this will sit on my desk. Where it will be positioned, 5 boxes is enough. I do have about another 4 of these, I think, if I remember rightly. So I might make another unit for elsewhere. So let's have a look. So I've got out all my JMC papers. I thought I would have a base, the black base. So I'm thinking for the top, the sides, that I would use some of the Garden Tots collection. So if I take it, oh, right, let me stand it up and remove all the drawers. And this is really, really sturdy. And as you can see, I have already been storing things in them. But these boxes were from a monthly beauty subscription that my daughter had. I did have the same subscription, and I held on to my boxes for ages and then got rid of them, which I do regret now. So I'm thinking for the sides we will use the Garden Tots collection, because this is the newest collection from Julia on the papers. That's the newest collection. So just having a flick to see which papers that I want. So for the sides, I'm thinking these quite nice. We need 2 of those. And for the top, I thought I would use that lovely rainbow pattern there for the top of it. And then for the back and the base, I'm just going to use plain card because you won't see the back. So I don't particularly want to waste the nice papers on the back of the box because you won't actually see it. I'll put them away afterwards because you don't want the rustling. So I'm just going to move these boxes out of the way to give me a bit of room, and then I will bring them in. And I'm thinking I'm not going to cover the whole of the boxes. The drawers, look, I mean, they really are sturdy. But they're, you know, I only need to cover the fronts, not the whole of the box. Because as you can see, they're very pretty colours on the sides anyway. So we're going to do the sides first. So we do need to try and keep it straight. So I'm just going to sort of push into it so I can see where my joins and my folds will be. Because as you can see, by just putting pressure on it, it actually marks the paper so you have an idea. And I'm thinking that when we come round here, I'm going to try and cover slightly on the inside of the boxes so that you don't see these edges, so that it will all match. Right, so I'm going to do this side on camera, and then once I've done that, I will then turn the camera, pause the camera, do the other side, and then the top, and then come back to you, because you don't want to see me doing this all the way through. So if you have any boxes like this, these are absolutely fantastic for this kind of thing. I am just going to be using wet glue rather than double-sided tape. I'm hoping that you can see what I'm doing and that I'm not out of the camera too much. Right, so because I've already folded that down, I can sort of see where I need to place it. I'm doing this like you would wallpaper. By squeezing that out, you get a nice flat surface rather than air bubbles, no different to when you're doing your wallpapering. And then hopefully I shouldn't have any problems with it sticking. And this is lovely paper to work with. Just trying to think the best way. So just cutting into it slightly because I don't want it to be bulky at the bottom, because it won't sit properly then. And the same here, I can just follow the line there, and then I should be able to. I've tabbed the side. Hope I'm in camera. By doing it that way, it makes it quite flat. So now we're back at the front now. So we need to cut into it so that I can fold it in a bit, because I don't want the colours of the boxes to be shown. So I've just mitered that corner slightly, so it folds in. But I've not taken it all the way, so that when I fold this back here, that will sit like that. And then I will also cover it with some more of this paper, just so that it all looks the same. Otherwise you're going to get this gap here, even from when I've done the other side, which I don't want. So I'm going to do the same all the way up, and then I will come back to you. Let's stick this down first, and then I'll go and do the other side and the other fronts, and then I will come back to you, because you don't want to see me doing all of this on camera. So if you do have anything like this, any storage boxes that you've got, any size, can be used in this way. There's usually these subscription items. They come in really, really sturdy boxes, so they're ideal for this kind of thing. So I'm going to pause the camera and then I'll come back. Right, so I'm back. So I've stuck down the other side. So both sides have done, and you can see that I've done the bits on the inside. Now what I'm going to do is I've cut these strips, and they are 7 inches by 1 inch, and I'm just literally going to do that so that all the edges look the same, or of the same paper, because I don't want the different colours like that showing. So I'm just going to stick all those down. You can do this with any collection of papers or card. I mean, these are actual paper. I think if I remember rightly, they're 160 GSM. But I might not be right on that, so don't quote me on that. So we're just going to do that, and that just protects and just makes it all look more uniform. So I'm just using wet glue again, and they've all been cut from one of the other sheets that's exactly the same, just so that it matches the size, or at least it's come from the same sheet. I mean, if you're familiar with Judia's papers, they're all very bright anyway, so any one of the papers, they all go together. I think there's 5 different collections of paper now, and they all go together really well. You can mix and match and they won't look out of place. So yeah, don't always just throw your boxes away. You can do this with any type of box that you've got. If you don't have one with that actually has a drawer like these do, you could do it with a normal box and just make the drawer, I would imagine. It just seems such a waste. I could have just used these as they were and didn't have to cover them. But I just thought it would be a nice use of the paper and it would look nice on my desk if it was something bright and cheerful, which Julia's papers are very bright and cheerful. Just bear with me a moment. So there we go. So that's all of them stuck down, just making sure they've adhered really well. That's what it looks like so far. When the drawers are inside, they'll be like that, but we're just going to cover the drawers. Get that out of the way. My daughter obviously didn't realise there's a perfume sample in the bottom of that. So we're going to do the top now. I have cut this paper out and I don't want it to go over the sides because we've already decorated the sides. So I literally just want it to fit as flush as I can get it, just so I can cover the tops of the boxes, and then I'll just bring it, fold it over at the back because that's just going to be plain card at the back. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So let me just stick that on. Sorry if my camera is too near. Let me see if I can bring it up a bit. I'm not quite sure how far I can bring it up. Hopefully that will give you a better view. And again, using wet glue. You could use double-sided sticky tape. I find sometimes when you need more manoeuvrability, the sticky tape sticks. If you put it down in the wrong place, you haven't really got much movement, even with a little bit of glue on it, to actually pull it back right. So let me do this quickly and then I'll be able to move the actual tower unit out of the way and we'll do the drawer fronts. As I say, I'm just going to use normal card for the back and the base because you won't see them from where they'll be sitting on my desk. You won't see them, so I don't particularly want to use pattern paper. Right, so that's the drawer unit. I'm just going to move that to in front of me so it's out of the way, so we can continue, because otherwise we're not going to have much room. So we have the drawers. We have 5 drawers. And they're all the same. So let me just take those contents out. There we go. So each drawer measures just under 7 inches by just over 1 3/4. So let's try and measure this out. I don't mind seeing the edge of the actual box of the drawer front, because they're just plain colours and they do tend to go with Julia's colours anyway. Let me just make sure I try and get that straight as I can. And then obviously you've got that there, so we do need to cut that there. So I'm going to cut all the fronts and then I'll be back. Right, so I'm back. So I took the liberty of cutting out all the drawer fronts while I was off camera. Ooh. And I've used a small amount of paper from each collection, and then I've just used a whole a circle punch there to cut out the thumb hole there. So let's stick all these down and then we can see what it all looks like together. But this is a cheap and cheerful way of making a drawer unit with boxes that we're going to be thrown away. And now hopefully it will be a lovely get that on straight. Again, I'm just making sure that everything is stuck down. So they were all numbered, but I don't suppose it really matters. They're all the same size anyway, so. I could have left them plain, because these are the nice bright ones anyway. I didn't have to cover the fronts, but I thought it would be a nice way of doing it. That's not right. Let me get these all level. So before you throw anything away or recycle it, just check and see if you can use it for something else, because you never know. You might be able to. Just putting those pieces of foam to the side. I'm not sure whether they'll be used. For anything, but you never know. have a look round the house before you throw anything away. Just have a look and see if you can be using it for something else, because you never know. You might find that you could be using it for something else. This one's got all sorts in it. Once I've stuck all these down, I'll do the backs and the fronts off camera. You won't need to see that. The backs and the bottom. I'm just going to put plain cards on the bottom and the back. I'm not wasting pattern paper for parts that you won't actually see. Once I've got more stuck down, I'll bring in the whole unit and we'll be able to have a look at it all fancy. And I'll probably go through these bits that are already in them and sort of do flowers in one and just make them a little bit more organised than what they are at the moment. I'm not sure. So I was going to end up then with two fairly plain ones together. So out of some boxes that were going to be thrown away, a few sheets of paper out of collections that I already have, I've made a nice drawer unit to sit on my desk, rather than it all going, well, the paper wouldn't go to the recycling bin, but the boxes would have done. And so I think I have another 4 left, so I'll probably use those for something else, but probably do it in the same way, maybe with different papers. Right, so let me put all my glue and everything away, and then I can bring in everything and show you it in its entirety. Just putting everything away, so I apologise for my hand being in the view of the camera. So there we go. So that's the drawers all in. I think that looks really, really nice. The 2 sides have been done in the Garden Tots paper, and so has the top, and then the backs and the bottom I will put just some plain card on that, rather than a pattern paper. But these all work perfectly well. If I want to, I can decorate up the fronts, but for the moment I'm really happy with that. So, you know, before you throw anything away, check if you can use it first. Check if you can use it to make something else that's more useful to you, before you throw it away. Because there's so much stuff that we have in our houses that we're ready to throw away that we can use for other things. So all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Take care and stay safe, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye for now. Right, I'm back on to show you the front of the box. I've now labelled each drawer. I've used the Cricut to cut out words in vinyl, so that I know what's in each drawer. So the top drawer will be flowers. I've marked the second drawer as images, so that's any of the collections, the ladies or figures or animals or whatever will go in that one. My third drawer I've put as papers. That's for any scraps that maybe be able to use for something else. Obviously the sentiments is self-explanatory, and then on this one we've got accessories, because there's always, if you have the digital collections, there's always extras if you have the full collection. So that will be the last box. So I just wanted to show you how I'd labelled those up on my drawer unit made with JMC papers. So that's it for me for now. Bye for now.